Hello everybody, it's Aaran back from Screenstars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom. And today I'm here to review the 2019 found footage horror film The Whispering Man. Now this is a Hungarian found footage film, however they do speak English. There are no Hungarian subtitles, and because it's a Hungarian film I'm not even going to attempt to butcher the names of the directors and the cast here, and we shall just talk about this film. Now this film focuses on a character called Mark, who he does like his own video podcast show called the Chasing Fear Show. Now on this show he talks about this painting that has been in his family for generations, or certainly a long time, that has been missing for quite some time. However, he suspects that this painting might be his dead grandma's house. She passed some time ago, and he and his brother are heading up there to clear out the house. While there, he discovers this painting, and this painting was given the ominous name of the Whispering Man by their grandmother, and she thought it was evil and nasty and hid it away. However, he wants to focus his podcast, this video podcast, on this painting. He takes it home with him, and he begins to then experience some strange phenomena over the coming days stroke weeks, and he is intent on documenting everything. However, it becomes clear fairly soon that there is something far more sinister and paranormal and supernatural behind this painting, The Whispering Man. Right, so what are my thoughts on this film, this found footage film? Well, it's a very, very low budget found footage film, I'll say that straight away. Now it might seem silly to say something like that, because found footage films generally are, but this one really, really is. It is literally very, very low budget. And an odd thing here is, like I say, it's a Hungarian found footage film, but they choose to speak English in this film. I personally think it harms the film, because the side effect of that is that you've got a bunch of actors where English isn't their first language, and it comes across that they're giving bad performances, and you can't work out if they're giving bad performances or it's because English isn't their first language, and it's almost like they're reading off cue cards quite a lot of the time, and I think it's a combination of both. Maybe they're inexperienced as performers, sorry, and they're the fact that they're speaking English in this film. And I personally would have preferred it if they'd have just stuck with Hungarian, but I understand why they chose to get them to speak English. It increases this film's international appeal. I understand all that, but I don't think it necessarily works. Now the main character Mark as well, and again for the reasons I've explained, he's talking throughout this film while he's filming things, and it almost sounds like he's narrating his own film. It's weird. It's like he's doing a voiceover for a trailer or something. It just comes across as really odd, and again it just doesn't quite work. And the actors all are supposed to be either closely related, like brothers, and there's a sister as well, or one of them's a girlfriend of the main character Mark, and it's like they've just met. There's no chemistry there at all. You don't get the impression that they really know each other. And one thing that you really need, I think, for a found footage film is you need to believe these characters are real and genuine, and you don't really feel that here, so it breaks the immersion. It doesn't necessarily help the film. Another problem as well with the low budget here is that the pacing isn't brilliant, and not very much happens for a large chunk for the film. And the main scares that you have to deal with, the character corner scares, is things like the radio turning itself on for no reason, or a power cut in the house, and that's it. For large chunks of the film, that's the kind of scare that you get, and I think they try and build this myth of this painting by giving us all this exposition and all these talks about the painting and its history and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, because of the way they're delivering the lines, you don't buy it. You don't buy what they're saying. You don't believe anything really about this painting. So there's quite a lot really that doesn't help this film. However, there's two things that I think really do help this film and almost save it. I mean, there's a really effective sequence in this film where Mark goes to like a sanitarium, an abandoned sanitarium, to find some evidence of his missing father, who himself was investigating the painting. And what he discovers there is quite frightening, and there's a really good sequence there, 5-minute sequence or so, that I think is really, really effective. It's filmed really well, and it shows why found footage films can be so effective with very little money. And I think it's staged really well, and I think it's delivered really well, and I believed the performance from the actor, that he was really terrified, and that sequence really worked. And from that point on, I think the film kind of went on a bit of an upward curve, and led us then to what I believe was a very strong ending as well. Again, a found footage film is only as good as its ending, and if you've got a strong ending, if you've got a strong last 10 or 15 minutes of a found footage film, you can forgive a lot, because most found footage films, the pacings aren't brilliant, and not an awful lot happens until the last 15-20 minutes, and that's what we get here with this film. I think we get a strong ending here. I think the last 10 or 15 minutes are really effective. Yes, I would have liked to have seen more, but obviously they didn't have the budget. But I think how they staged the ending was creepy enough, scary enough, and allowed you to use your imagination a little bit, which again is something that you need in a found footage film. So I think what we have here is a bit of a mixed bag. I'm going to give this film a 5 out of 10. I think it could have been better. I would have preferred it if they'd have actually just spoken Hungarian, but I understand why they chose not to. But yeah, from my perspective, I think it's fairly flawed. This is a found footage film, but it does have some effective moments in it. So that is my review for The Whispering Man. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to come back to the channel for more reviews very, very soon.